right, here's our last slide. I am going to box my formulas so that I don't mess up my coefficients on accident. I'm going to make a box until I see a stop sign, either a plus sign or an arrow. So here's my first formula. I come to a plus sign, so I end my box. Here's my second formula. I come to an arrow, I end my box. Here's another formula. I come to a plus sign, I end my box. And my last formula. I'll draw an arrow down the middle of the page. And now I'm going to list the elements on each side of the equation. So I have a C, an H, an O, and another O. C, H, O, O. On the other side, I have a C, an O, an H, and an O. And you can see that I like to write my elements in the same order on the right-hand side and the left-hand side. That way, when I'm comparing them both on the reactants and the products, I don't accidentally get mixed up. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at coefficients and subscripts. This box is our first formula. There's no number at the beginning, so it means it's an invisible number 1. That 1 goes with everything behind it until we get to a new formula, a new box. So there's 1C, there's 1H, and there's 1O. The coefficient is 1 for each of those. But we have to also look at the subscripts. There's a 4 after the C. So 1 times 4 equals 4. There's a 10 after the H. Coefficient of 1 times 10 equals 10. And there's no number after the oxygen. It's an invisible number 1. 1 times 1 equals 1. All right, now we're at our new formula over here. We have a coefficient of 6. That goes with the oxygen. And then we see a stop sign, so it only goes with the oxygen. And we have a subscript of 2. There's 12 oxygen plus 1 oxygen on the left side, on the reactant side. All right, let's look over on the product side. We have a coefficient of 4. That goes with the C, it goes with the O, and then we see a stop sign right here. And so this coefficient only goes in with our boxed formula. 4 times an invisible number 1 equals 4 carbon. 4 times 2 equals 8 oxygen. Now we're at a new formula. This coefficient goes with everything behind it. So there are 5 H's times a subscript of 2, 10 H's total. There are 5 oxygen times an invisible number 1, 5 oxygen. So let's do our checking. There are 4 carbon, 4 carbon, 10 hydrogen, 10 hydrogen. There are 12 plus 1, 13 oxygen. 13 oxygen on this side. There's 8 plus 5, 13 oxygen on this side. Even though they're in 2 different formulas, there's still 13 atoms, 13 atoms. So overall, we would say that this equation is balanced.